So, the spotlight effect is the psychological phenomenon where people believe they are being perceived more than they really are. If you have ever been on a stage in front of a spotlight, or maybe the stage itself has had bad lighting, then you know what I'm talking about. Actually, if you see someone on stage, they got a big glowing light on them, and that's the only thing that everyone else sees. But when you're on stage, that light is actually extremely blinding, and you can't see everyone, but with the few people you see, you know that they're all watching you. And that is actually very scary. And I was on stage a couple times, maybe within 7th and 8th grade, and I want to do it again, honestly, but that's not the spotlight effect I'm really talking about. Today, I'm talking about the psychological phenomenon and how in social situations or when people are with others, they can feel that they are being perceived, judged, and just overall observed for their every little action. I've seen this. I think some people might act out or act very awkwardly or extremely because of the spotlight effect. I think the spotlight effect is one of the root causes of most people's insecurities, and I would like to talk about my own experiences with the spotlight effect. I did not start fighting the spotlight effect until 7th and 8th grade. And that's really weird because you would think, I think it's amazing that within someone's childhood or within like before the hormones hit, you don't have a care in the world. The spotlight effect is a foreign concept. I'm not sure when I became insecure about every little thing I do. I think it's ridiculous, but it happened at some point, and I think it happened around 7th and 8th grade. And the reason I think it happened around then, where it started to appear, was because we used to do like these county dances, like all the middle schools or all the Catholic schools would gather around, and it would be like mini homecoming. And that's where I started experiencing the spotlight effect, because I would not hang out with anyone other than the people I already knew for 9 years, right? I felt like every little action I took, every little thing I did would be judged by the other people from the other schools. I remember one time slow dancing with my first crush I ever had. Like I saw her in first grade and like held on to that for years, and I finally got to slow dance with her. And I couldn't even be in the moment. I just was constantly thinking about like, am I doing it right? How many people are watching at me? How many people are staring at me? It was not good. I wish I could have enjoyed that moment a little more. And it kind of got worse for the next 2 years because there would be more cluster dances and I'd be talking to less people because I was scared that I was going to drive others away for some reason, and that every little mistake or every little awkward bump I made would come back to haunt me in the long run. And when I finally got into high school, I was given the task of making new friends, which for a little 14, 15-year-old boy battling social anxiety and the spotlight effect, it was not awesome. And I think the other kids kind of caught on to my awkwardness. And I don't want to say I was like directly bullied, but there's kind of a subset of bullying called social bullying. You know, movies kind of say like wedgies, heads in the toilet, shoved in lockers. It wasn't that kind of bullying, but it was like anything I said was not taken super seriously because I was afraid to talk. You could see it all over me, and people would react very hyperbolically when I would talk. I would just try to make a joke or say anything, and it was kind of met with like fake laughter or, yeah, you tell him, Mike, you know, in a dismissive, overhypey way. I don't know what the vibe is, but if you've ever received that kind of thing, you would know, right? And you would know what I'm talking about. The thing is that ended up making me very afraid to talk to people. It ended up making me like judge myself for every little action I took. I could like nearly trip and fall as I'm walking, and then I'd be thinking about it for the rest of the week, right? Or I could say something really stupid in the moment that, you know, people grow up and learn new things, or people's minds and opinions can change. And I'd be thinking about it for the next week of like, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Everyone hates me. Why did I say that? I remember the night I got over the spotlight effect. Because of what I went through freshman year of high school, it was really hard for me to make friends within the high school. So I met Colin through the local Smash Library tournament. I got indoctrinated into that entire friend group, and I suddenly had a friend group of people that wanted to hang out with me. I remember one night we were all kind of like together at some small party or whatever, and I was talking in a group of 5 people, and I told some stupid joke about a starfish, and it got everyone laughing. And what was weird and different for me was it wasn't laughter in the dismissive way I was talking about earlier. It was real, genuine laughter from people that actually wanted to hang out with me, which was crazy to me at the time, right? Because I guess I had just been really struggling to make new friends. Another point that night, I spilled water all over the coffee table. I felt so bad, like really horrible. And I was thinking people were going to think I was a klutz for the next week. And I went on a car ride with my mom, picked me up. And on the car ride home, I kind of talked to her about like what had kind of happened. Because, you know, she was very in tune with my struggles to make new friends or whatever. I told her that I managed to make people laugh, and then I ended up telling her that I spilled coffee all over the table and I felt like an idiot. And that's when she stopped me and said, look, people are not going to remember that in a few years. They're going to remember how you make them feel. All the little things you do, all the little mistakes you may make, all the little embarrassments you might end up happening to you, it is not going to matter. Now, this should have been some serious, super obvious advice that I would figure out on my own, but I mean, you know, that's what moms are for, and that it kind of stuck with me, right? And as it turns out, that was advice I needed to hear during the summer before sophomore year. And I was able to make many more friends in high school. To this day, I see a lot of them at the gym, at my local gym, and it's literally all hunky-dory. It's fine. Right, like there's no social bullying. There's nothing like that. Like they all want to talk to me. I want to talk to them. We're all hyping each other up in workouts, and it's the best, right? And that's really because ultimately it's that way now because the spotlight effect before was stopping me from trying new things, meeting new people, or just getting to know myself better. And that's what can happen. Like, I believe a lot of people's insecurities and a lot of just where the world is at now, especially, comes from the spotlight effect, where people are afraid to reach out to people. People are afraid that one little mistake costs everything. It's something I don't wish on anyone, even like people I strongly dislike. Like, it's a very isolating feeling when it hits you this bad. Oh my god, did he just jump? Did he do that? I'm sorry, I haven't played Minecraft in forever. But yeah, like, I think it's really about how you make people feel in the moments that you have with them that will be remembered. And you know, I'm sure a lot of my friends did some super embarrassing things around me that they regret to this day that I didn't notice and will probably never hear about. And that's okay. I guess that's what everyone does around each other. It's very easy to have people associate you with positive memories. Now, this isn't the case for everyone, but I'm talking about things like asking someone how their day went, or just listening. You'd be surprised at how listening or just letting people talk about themselves helps, because they will turn around and tell others you're a great listener, or they'll want to spend more time with you because you are listening and taking an interest in them, right? And it's really awesome. And you know what? It's not even something that should be like selfish for you, or like, I want to gain new friends. You listen to people, you gain a lot of fun perspective in life, and that's, you know what, that's a whole nother topic. But all I am saying is nobody's watching you, because people are ultimately watching themselves all the time. There's so much that goes on in the world that you spilling water on the coffee table is not going to ruin your friendships. It just won't. And that sounds super ridiculous to say out loud, and it should be a no-brainer, but for me, I wish someone had told me that. And, you know, I'm glad I learned. Even to this day, my coworker actually told me the same thing. I felt really bad about something I said to my supervisor, and he ended up just saying the same exact thing my mom told me when I was 15. He had said people will ultimately remember the way you make others, you make them feel. And from what I've noticed, you are in the clear with that. So don't worry about it. And it meant a lot, really. So I think the spotlight effect is evil, and I think we should just fucking kill the lights or something. I don't know how to wrap that up, but yeah, I'm glad I could pass this knowledge on to you guys. And yeah, take care of yourselves.